Hello everyone and welcome to this pick a card. This pick a card will be for what do people think of you whenever they first see you. So what first impression do you give off whenever people first meet you? Remember that not all messages will resonate with you, and if something doesn't go with you, just leave it to the universe and take whatever is yours. Not all messages will go with you, and if something doesn't, you're just not meant to know it yet. Sometimes that happens. The universe just doesn't want you to know something yet, and you won't know it. So just don't worry about it. Don't take this too serious, okay? Remember, life always changes. Life is always changing. The world is always revolving. So just take whatever goes with you and leave the rest to the universe, as I said before. And this is actually my first video ever, so I'm kind of nervous. And if I make any errors or mistakes, I do apologize in advance. So let's get started. This is group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4, and group 5. Pick whichever group calls to you, whichever your gut tells you to pick. And if you need to pause the video, do that as well. You can pick more than one group, remember that. And let's get started. So I will start with group 1. We have the Knight of Wands, the Hanged Man, and I will also be reading the cards upright, no reverse. King of Wands, Ten of Swords, Eight of Swords, and the Ten of Pentacles. Okay, so what I'm seeing here is people see you as someone with power. Maybe you could be someone's boss, the manager at the store. I really see someone with power here. Someone with power. People really, let me see. Give me 1 second to read this. Okay, so whenever people first see you, the very first impression you give off is a person with power. Someone who, if you mess with me, you're a hangman. You're done with. You don't get no second chances. You only get one chance and that's it. No one wants to step on you. Like, you're the boss. You're the boss here, okay? That's the first impression you give off. And I also see that people see some pain in you, some type of pain from the past or that you're dealing with. Mostly a type of pain that you've already gone through, which makes you appear so powerful, which makes you appear so dominant, okay? So I see that people see the pain in you and they see what you're capable of when you're in pain. So that's why no one would mess with you. That's the very first impression you give off. Like, don't mess with me. If you do this to me, you're done with. Yeah, but to some people, actually, you don't appear like that. You actually appear as someone very loving. So let's say I'm kind of getting here, like, if an older person would see you, if a young kid or any animals would see you, this is the first impression you give off. I'm getting this very strongly. You give off an impression of someone who's very loving, someone who's open, someone who anyone can count on. But mostly you're this dominant person who doesn't let anyone mess with them, okay? Let me see if I'm getting any more messages for group 1. Nope, that is it for group 1, and I'm actually going to take out a Work Your Light card for group 1. So let's see. Any messages for group 1 that the universe would like them to know? Any messages for group 1 that the universe would want them to know? Okay. Means I can. Longing for home, belonging, the original light workers. Okay. So yeah, I see that if you ever wanted to stop being this, appearing so dominant, so intimidating, you would have to go back to your roots, go back to whatever caused you so much pain, okay? Go back to that and solve that stuff, solve all that unresolved issue, like all those unresolved issues. You gotta solve that in order to stop appearing so dominant, so intimidating, okay? So scary. I almost want to say that word. But yeah, you just have to go back, get closure on whatever it is causing you pain still. And that is all the messages that I'm getting from group 1. Now let's move on to group 2. For group 2, we have the 3 of Swords, the King of Cups, the 6 of Pentacles, the 7 of Wands, and the, what is it, 6 of Wands? No, 9 of Wands, I'm sorry. Okay, I see a very hard worker here. Whenever people first see you, you're this fast moving worker. You get things done, everybody can count on you, okay? That's what I'm getting. You're this really hard worker. You really focus on whatever you're doing and you don't stop until you finish it. But you're also a very I want to say powerful, but more a very abundant person. Yes, that's the word, abundant. You have a lot and you like to give back. You like to give back because something makes you want to give back, some pain, some type of pain. And yeah, that pain makes you want to give back because it's coming from your heart. You're very, oh, that's the word. Yes, generous. When people first see you, they see you as a very generous person. Yes. Very generous, very abundant. You like to give back. You have no problem giving back. You're also a very loving person. So what I'm getting for group 2 is you're a very hardworking person, very generous, and you really like to give back. You have a lot of abundance. That's what I'm getting here. And this 3 of Swords, people mostly see as a bad thing because it's like heartbreak. But I kind of see it like, I don't really see it as a bad thing. I see it as something that has, like, something really bad already happened and that's not in your way anymore. But this has shaped you to be such a good person now, to be a very generous person, and it's coming from your heart. You don't mind giving back. You don't mind helping others. You don't mind giving some of what's yours. That's what I'm getting for group 2. Let me see if I'm getting any more messages other than hard worker, very generous. Let's see. Also, when people see you working, they don't want to mess with you. Like, they want to let you do your job, finish, and because they know that you've got this. Like, you don't even need help because you've got this. You've got this down. You don't need help from anyone. You're a very independent person. That's what I also see. That's the first impression you give out. You're very independent. You don't need anyone to be there watching over you while you work because you've got this. And you also get really like, you don't like people watching you work. You don't want people telling you what to do because you already got this. Okay? Now let's draw some light, work your light cards. Any messages for group 2 from the universe? Oh, okay. I'm gonna take this one. Trust the niggle. What is the niggling feeling trying to tell you? So maybe for some of you, you've been having a feeling. Maybe something's gonna happen. Maybe that you should do something. And maybe it has to do with your job, with the people around you. So pay attention to that feeling. Your gut feeling are messages from your angels. Remember that. So always pay attention to your intuition and your gut feelings, okay? And that is it for group 2. Now we're moving forward to group 3. Okay, so we have the Ace of Wands, Page of Swords, the Magician, the Hermit, and the 10 of Cups. Wow. Okay, so I'm seeing that the first impression you give off is someone who's very creative, a really creative person. You have a lot of ideas. You like to share them with the world. You create a lot. You can make whatever you want because everything is at your hands with the Magician, as you can see. Also, let's see. You're a very wise person as well. You're a very, very wise person. And you know a lot. You have a lot of knowledge, and that's what helps you create so much because you know what people like, you know what people want, and that helps you see what to make, what you have to create, okay? So the first impression you give off is someone who's very creative, someone who can do whatever. They give you a pencil, you make a, I don't know, a sculpture out of it. Anything, okay? You can create anything you want, anything you see, okay? That's what I'm getting from you. And also someone who's very knowledgeable. You have a lot of knowledge. You're very intelligent. Anyone could ask you anything and you'd have the answer. And if it's not the correct answer, you still have an answer. That's what I'm getting from this group. You know a lot, okay? Also, yeah, you know what people want, okay? That's what helps you create. That's what helps you have so much knowledge, because you spend so much time focusing on what others want, what makes others happy. So you take all that stuff and you make it, you harvest it, like you take it in and you use it to your advantage. That's what I'm seeing for group 3. Let me see if I'm picking up on any other messages. I also kind of see, don't take this in offense, I'm going to be very honest. I see that you're very good at lying as well. Making up stories or just telling stories in general. Okay? Like, you have a lot of stories to tell, but they're not always the truth. Okay? Yeah, they're not always the truth. But, I mean, it's still stories. And I think people find them really interesting because of how creative they are. So they're very believable as well. And sometimes not, because sometimes they can seem very crazy. Okay? So that's what I'm getting for group 3. Let me draw some of the work your luck cards. Well, at least one. Any messages for group 3 the universe would like them to know? Messages for group 3. Oh, there we go. So we have 2 cards. Starseed, what lights you up? Okay, so yeah, like this goes really well with your cards, because what lights you up? You do whatever you feel. You're very intuitive person. You go with your instinct. You do whatever you feel like you should do in that moment. And we also have the Rama. What are you being called to journey to? This is very interesting. So yeah, what are you being called to journey to? What I feel is you're really being called to be someone who creates, kind of like a designer, an artist. Yes, I'm really getting the artist vibe. A storyteller, a writer. That's also what I'm getting. Yeah, that's all the messages I have for group 3. Very interesting group. Kind of liked it. Okay, and now we're moving forward to group 4. We have the Star, the 2 of Swords, the Queen of Cups, the 4 of Wands, the Chariot, and the 6 of Swords. Let me say this. I have someone who's really... Let me pay attention to this. Give me 1 second. The Star. I feel like if you pick this group, you could be an air sign, or you deal with a lot of air signs in your life. Either that, or yeah, I'm getting a lot of air sign stuff. Aquarius mostly. So what people first think of you is you're someone who likes to go with whatever they feel. Someone who almost lives in their head, but not like you appear like you live in your head. Yes, that's right. You appear like you live in your head, but you actually don't. You're very focused on what's outside, on the outside. Yeah. Okay, so you appear like you live in your head, like you have your own world, like you're living in your own world, but it really looks like that, and sometimes you may think that too, but that's not very true, because I see here that it all has a purpose, okay? It's not all just living your head. You actually, this is so hard to explain, but I have the words. Okay, so you think a lot. Maybe you're an overthinker, okay? And you appear like you live in your head, but you actually, there's a purpose for that. And people don't see it at first, but then they realize that you really, all those thoughts all that overthinking, all your ideas, they're actually very good. Like, they actually help a lot of people. And it might not seem like that at first. That people just think that, oh, like, don't listen to him or her, like, they're crazy, okay, don't listen to them. But at the end of the day, you're actually very smart. Like, there's always a purpose for what you're thinking. There's always I'm kind of seeing like people don't want to believe you at first, but then, yeah, whenever you first say something, people don't want to believe you because they think, oh, like, they don't know what they're talking about, like, what does that even mean? Like, I don't understand. And that's okay. Like, people don't understand because I see that you're a higher level thinker, and some people actually do see that. Some people actually do see that you're on a higher level. The things you say, the things you think, they're actually more advanced than most of the other stuff that people are saying. Okay, so I have maybe two groups of people, or yeah, just two groups of people. So one, people just see you as someone who lives in their head, someone who is crazy, like someone who doesn't know what they're talking about, with someone who has an overactive imagination, kind of. And then the second group of people is people see you as someone who is very smart, someone who they don't even know where you get your ideas from, where you get your thoughts from. You just get them, and you're always right. You're always on the right path. You're always assertive, kind of like that. Yeah. So the first group of people, they see you as someone who just blabbers and like just says whatever they want with no meaning, no context. When it's actually not like that. That's what I'm seeing here. Kind of like, I'm really getting an Aquarius vibe from this, like a lot, and more with the star card. And that's the first group of people. And then the second group of people, they see you as someone who's very smart. Like, they could ask you anything, and you might take a while to respond to them because your mind is really thinking, really processing everything that someone has asked you. But they know that you will always have one or two answers for them. You will always make them question reality. You will always make them question what they asked you, their own questions. Okay. That's what I'm getting from this group. Someone who's very, just really imaginative, really goes out of their way to think, like, and it's just something natural. They have a very active imagination, but not in a bad way. I don't see it as a bad way, honestly. So you're someone who really is in touch with your instincts, your feelings, your thoughts. Whatever you think is right for you, okay? Like, whatever you think that's the correct answer. And most people see it like that. And then there's the other group of people who doesn't, who are always like, what are you talking about? And then at the end, it always ends up being right. You always end up being right. I also think that people see you as a person who they can trust, that they can actually trust, that if they needed anything, you would carry them. Okay, that's what I'm getting for group 4. So just those three groups of people. And let's see, from the Work Your Light cards, any messages for group 4? Messages for group 4 from the universe. Messages. Okay. So we have Akasha. Your guidance is divinely guided. See, I told you, whatever you think is correct. Like, most of the time, people know all your thoughts, there's always another purpose for them. There's a higher purpose, a more mature, advanced purpose for all of your thoughts. And most people know that, and then there's other people who just think like, what are you talking about? And those people, they're mostly not very, I don't want to say advanced, but they just don't see things the way they're very close-minded. Yeah, they're very close-minded. They don't want to open their hearts and their minds and their eyes to other things. They just go with whatever seems logical when there's so many other answers to everything, and you have all those answers, and your guidance is divinely guided. So most of those answers are always right. If not 90% of the time, they're always right. Always. All right, and that's all I have for group 4. Now we're going to move on to group 5. So we have Temperance, Ace of Cups. We have 3 of Wands. We have the 8 of Cups, the Lover's card, Page of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles, and the 9 of Swords. So this is a lot of cards. These are all the cards that actually wanted to come out for group 5. I don't go and pick them. I just draw them, and whichever cards want to come out, I just pick them because that's the universe. They want to give you a message, and I'm just here to deliver it, okay? So let's see. For group 5, the first impression that I think people get from you is you're someone who likes to give a lot of love, okay? People see you as a very loving person. Someone who values love and everything, love above all else, okay? Like, people see you as a lover. You're a lover. But they also see you as someone who deserves better. That's what I'm getting from this. So yeah, people always see what you're going through, okay? Even with the first impression, which that's what this video is about, even with the first impression, people know that you deserve better. You may not, the first impression that you may give off is that you're a very loving person, and maybe, I'm gonna say it, maybe you let people walk over you because of how much you value feelings, how much you value love. You let people walk over you, and people see that when they first meet you, and they immediately think like, you deserve better. You're such a loving person. You know how to give love. You don't let anyone feel abandoned. And people see that you deserve better, okay? People see that you're suffering. People see that sometimes being loving is not all that good because some people just don't deserve it, okay? And people see that when they first meet you. But you're also a very wise person, okay? You think with your heart, and that's what makes you make all those decisions. And you're very wise. Like I said, people think that your love is the most important thing in your life. I'm kind of getting like Cancer vibes. This kind of reminds me of like my best friend. She's a Cancer. And yeah, like, I don't know. I just think that when people first see you, they immediately see that you have such a good heart, that you try to help people all the time. And sometimes they see that those people don't deserve it. And they see how much you give to everyone. They see that you're such a good person. You give so much, but you take so little. You take almost nothing. And people see that. That's the first impression you give off, that you're such a good person, but you're not always getting that back. All those feelings, all that help is not always being reciprocated. Is that how you say? I'm not sure. But yeah, like, you're not getting all that stuff back. And people see that. And some people, they take advantage of that because that's the first impression you give off, okay? They take advantage of that. But others, they try to help you. They actually try to help you, and whenever they try to help you, they see how wise you are. How it doesn't matter that you're not getting all this stuff, all this love, all this help back. That as long as you're giving love and there's love in the world, that everything is fine. That you'll be fine. That you don't need all that love and acceptance and help back. That you're good with giving it. That you're okay with giving. And that's a good thing. You're not very selfish. Let's see, what else am I getting for group 5? It's really, once I saw, like, the first time I saw these cards right now, when I first turned them over, that's the first thing I saw, and that's the one and only message I'm getting. That you give a lot. People see that you give a lot, and that you're very loving, and that you don't always get all that back. It's very unfair. Life is very unfair to you, and that you deserve so much more. You deserve so much more. Everybody who sees you knows you deserve more, way more than that. So now I'm gonna draw some of the Work Your Light cards. New messages for group 5. There's one. There's 2 cards. Okay, great. So the first card we have is you're already doing it. Stop overthinking, keep facing your true north. Okay, that's good. As long as you feel like giving love is the best thing to do, that's great. You should keep doing it. Definitely keep doing it because there's nothing wrong with that. Someday you will get what you deserve. That's what I'm really seeing here too. Then we had the awakening, energetic upgrades, a new way of being, integration. So what I'm also seeing with this card is that you may stop giving so much love because you're not getting a lot of it back. You're actually gonna be more careful with who you'll give your love to, or you'll find a better way to give love. That's what I'm really getting. And that is it for group 5. And our reading is over. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and all that stuff. My Instagram will be in the description below. And I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. Bye.